The Loneliest Passenger, the true story of Laika, astray against the stars. In the winter of 1957, the world was looking up. The Cold War wasn't being fought in the trenches, it was being fought in the heavens. On one side, the United States, on the other, the Soviet Union. The prize, the moon, the stars, and the future of humanity. But humanity wasn't ready to go yet. We didn't know if a living heart could survive the crushing G-forces of launch or the eerie weightlessness of orbit. We needed a pioneer, a hero. But we didn't pick a soldier. We didn't pick a pilot. We went to the cold, snowy streets of Moscow and found a small, stray mutt with calm eyes and a quiet soul. Her name was Kadrovka, little curly, but the world would forever know her as Laika. From the streets to the centrifuge. Why astray? Soviet scientists believed that Moscow's street dogs were already survivors. They had endured sub-zero temperatures, starvation, and the harsh reality of life on the pavement. They were biologically tougher than any pedigreed house dog. Laika was a part terrier mongrel, weighing about 6 kilograms. She was chosen because of her even temperament. While other dogs panicked in the laboratory, Laika remained still. She was patient. She was trusting. The training was brutal. To prepare for the cramped Sputnik 2 capsule, Laika was kept in progressively smaller cages for 20 days at a time. She was placed in centrifuges that simulated the roar of a rocket, and she was fed a specialized high-protein gel that would be her only sustenance in space. But there was a human side to this cold science. Dr. Vladimir Yazdovsky, one of the lead scientists, took Laika home a few days before the launch. He wanted her to play with his children. He wanted her to have a moment of being a real dog before she became a legend. Because Dr. Yazdovsky knew something the public didn't. He knew she was never coming back. The launch of Sputnik 2. November 3, 1957. Baikonur Cosmodrome. Laika was placed in her pressurized cabin. She was harnessed in place with just enough room to stand or lie down. Sensors were attached to her skin to monitor her heartbeat and breathing. Countdown. 3, 2, 1. Ignition. As the rocket tore through the atmosphere, Laika's heart rate tripled. Her breathing became frantic. She was terrified, alone in a vibrating metal box, being pushed into the blackness by a force 3 times her weight. But then, silence. She had reached orbit. For the first time in the history of our planet, a living heart was beating in the vacuum of space. Laika began to settle. She even ate some of her food. For a brief few hours, the stray from Moscow was the most important living thing in the universe. The Cold War cover-up. For decades, the Soviet government told a story of a peaceful end. They claimed Laika lived for 6 or 7 days in orbit, eventually passing away painlessly as her oxygen ran out. They even claimed she was given a final poisoned meal to prevent any suffering. It was a lie. In 2002, at the World Space Congress in Houston, former Soviet scientist Dmitry Malashnikov revealed the shocking truth. During the launch, a piece of the R-7 rocket failed to separate properly from the capsule. This prevented the thermal control system from working. Within hours of reaching orbit, the temperature inside like a small cabin began to soar. It climbed to 40 degrees Celsius, then 50, then 60. Laika didn't live for a week. She survived for only 5 to 7 hours. She died from heat exhaustion and extreme stress, orbiting the Earth in a metal oven. She was a pioneer who paid the ultimate price for a mission that was rushed to meet a political deadline. The legacy of a star dog. When the news of Laika's death reached the West, it sparked a global debate. For the first time, people weren't just asking if we could reach the stars, they were asking at what cost. Laika's sacrifice paved the way for Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space. It led to the safety protocols that protect astronauts today. Oleg Gazenko, one of the senior scientists on the project, expressed his regret years later. He said, "Work with animals is a source of suffering to us all. We treat them like babies who cannot speak. The more time passes, the more I'm sorry about it." Today, in Moscow, there is a monument. It is a small bronze statue of a dog standing on top of a rocket. People leave flowers there every day. They don't leave them for the Soviet Union or the space race. They leave them for the small, brave stray who showed us that the heavens were reachable. The starry path. Laika's body stayed in orbit for 5 months, circling the Earth 2,570 times. On April 14, 1958, her capsule finally re-entered the atmosphere and burned up like a falling star. She began as a stray, looking for food in the trash cans of Moscow. She ended as a part of the cosmos itself. So the next time you look at the night sky, think of the little dog who went first. She wasn't a soldier, and she wasn't a scientist. She was just a dog, following the people she trusted, all the way to the stars. This has been The Perfect Volume.